So today's topic is effects of toxic algal blooms. So introduction. This algal blooms can develop in fresh, marine and brackish water bodies. They occurs when there is rapid increase in the abundance of phytoplankton. That is under favorable condition. This microalgae, that is this phytoplankton cells, proliferates or multiplies to certain millions of cells per liter, which results in the discoloration of the surface of the sea. This phenomenon is known as harmful algal blooms and popularly known as red tides. Blooms of certain species produces toxins, and these toxins are distributed throughout the food web. And an algal bloom can change the color of water to brown, green, yellow, orange, or red. And aquaculture, this one of the fastest growing food sector in the world, is also facing challenges and risks due to these harmful algal blooms. So, generally, these phytoplankton are of two types, diatoms and dinoflagellates, and these are the diatoms. These diatoms again are of two types, centric and pennate. This is a centric diatom, and this is pennate diatoms. That is, this round shape is centric diatoms, and this is pennate, and these are also diatoms. So, these are dinoflagellates. The first one is serratium, then gymnodium, then uh, Ceratocoris, then Dinophysis, etc. Then about the factors that lead to excessive growth of this phytoplankton include increase in nutrient level from fertilizer runoff from residences and agricultural lands, then sewage discharges and runoff from urban areas and industrial facilities is one of the factor. Then changes in nutrient levels associated with ocean upwelling, and then comes the low water flows such as those associated with the drought, and changes in water temperature, then changes in water pH, turbidity, etc. And the changes in the local phytoplankton assemblages. Then these hacks are a global problem, usually caused by anthropogenic activities like ship water, shellfish translocations, then sediment dredging and natural vectors like climate change, storm events, etc. So these are the factors that lead to the excessive growth of these phytoplankton cells. And not all blooms are toxic. As I already said, certain species produces toxins. That is, blooms of certain species produce toxins, and this toxins is responsible for certain types of diseases or illness. So, most commonly recognized illness include this Sigatora poisoning, and the toxin responsible for this is cigatoxin, and the sources include subtropical and tropical fish. Then second one, paralytic shellfish poisoning, that is PSP, and the toxin is saxitoxin, and the source include bivalve and gastropod mollusks, then crustaceans, fish, etc. And diuretic shellfish poisoning, that is DSP, and the toxin responsible for this is oxalic acid or dinophysis toxins, and the source is molluscan fish. Then amnestic shellfish poisoning, the toxin is domoic acid. Then source include the molluscan shellfish, crustacean fish, etc. Then neurotoxic shellfish poisoning or NSP, that is, the toxin responsible for this is brevetoxins. Then the source include bivalve and the gastropod mollusk. So these toxins may result in number of symptoms like gastrointestinal symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, etc. The neurological symptoms include pain, numbness, tingling, etc. Then respiratory problems like coughing, sneezing, etc. or wheezing, etc. Then dermatological symptoms, that is itchy skin, rash, etc. Then about the animal health. So many animals become ill or die when they consume this toxin or toxin contaminated fish or invertebrates. Some phytoplankton species are not harmful to human, but they can cause injury to fish and other invertebrates by damaging or clogging their gills. Other algal species, while not toxic, grow uncontrollably or enormously, reducing available oxygen and sunlight necessary for plant and other animal survival. The increase in density of algal population results in the release of toxic compound known as phycotoxins, which in turn is harmful for aquatic living being as well as for humans. So this phycotoxins is harmful to aquatic living being and also for humans. Then animals can serve as early indicators of algal bloom toxicity. These animals, that is, these birds and marine mammals, are important sentinel species, and they provide early warnings of existing or emerging health hazards in ocean and coastal environments. And the increase in mortality and morbidity of these animals may be the sign that these HAP toxins are present. HAP toxins means harmful algal bloom toxins, toxins produced by certain species, and these are the red tides. So the dinoflagellate Noctiluca scintillans is responsible for these types of tides. And something about the ecosystem health, these harmful algal blooms or the HADs can cause significant ecological disruption, including accumulation of toxins in the food web, resulting in animal illness and health, or death of this species. Then changes in phytoplankton diversity, which alter the food web structure. Then oxygen depletion. Then sunlight deprivation, which impacts important habitats such as submerged aquatic vegetation, etc. So, about economics, these HABs are a global problem with severe economic consequences for aquaculture, then fisheries and tourism sectors, and especially for coastal communities near impacted waterways. So, in this in aquaculture and fisheries sector, this HABs or a HABs brings about habitat loss of many species, then harvest area closures for finfish and the shellfish, then losses of commercially important finfish and shellfish, then damage to animal gills and the fouling of gear, pumps, and filters and intake pipes. And coming to the tourism sector, it results in beach closures, then decreased recreational uses of beaches and waterways, then reduced recreational travels, then reduced waterfront real estate values, etc. So, these are the after effects of these harmful algal blooms, and this is all about this effect of toxic algal blooms, and that's all for today. Thank you.